Welcome back to Primetime News and a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. Up first this evening, the police are sending a warning to drivers of heavy-duty trucks, particularly those who are breaching the traffic laws. In a TVJ News exclusive, Kirk Wright has been monitoring how some of the drivers have been using our roads.
24 hours each day, there is a truck moving items across the island. Many of these drivers prefer nights to pull their cargo in and out of town. They say it's cooler and less congested. But trucks like this one, without reflectors or lights along the full length of its body, pose a safety risk for other motorists, and it's also a breach of the Road Traffic Act.
I would like for the public to know and to understand that the law makes provision for night under the Road Traffic Act, which is actually section 40, subsection 3. And it speaks to a period of half an hour after sunset and half an hour before sunrise. So any vehicle operating within that period must be properly lit.
Often, truck drivers travel along roads that are barely lit, and the absence of the proper signals can cause a collision. Take, for instance, this articulated truck transporting cement recently on Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston with no lights or reflectors to the sides. And this one, captured on Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, pulling a 40-foot container, again with no lights to the sides.
In the case that you have just mentioned, these motor trucks, articulated vehicles, by law, the Road Traffic Act makes provision for reflectors to be on these vehicles. And this is at section 40.
And what are the fines for those drivers in breach?
Not having any reflectors on your vehicle, the fine is rather small. It's just $2,000 and 2 demerit points.
This blinding light is actually attached to a trailer hauling a 40-foot load. Some drivers who don't have the required warning signals on their trucks, reflectors or lights, use these lights instead to show the load they're carrying. But it's not ideal.
But in this instance where the operator of that particular vehicle had the lights pointed backwards, he could also be prosecuted for failing to maintain his lighting equipment at section 154 of the Road Traffic Regulations.
And here's a truck no one could miss. It has reflectors all around and it's fully lit.
That was very novel. The operator of that particular articulated vehicle is actually thinking outside the box. However, bear in mind that what that person would have done is not necessarily prescribed in law. It's helpful, but it's not necessarily prescribed in law. And this doesn't mean that we would necessarily be prosecuting that individual. In fact, it is the way forward.
Inspector Williams says the police are hoping that the stiffer penalties in the soon-to-come Road Traffic Act will cause more drivers to comply with the law. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.